couple of seconds, it'll go live. Yeah, we're live. So I'm using the new Meet layout, so everybody is now visible. Everybody's got the camera on, I'll say.
Oh, that looks pretty neat.
Yeah.
Right. So I guess since I sent out the invite, I guess I can do the intro today. Yeah. So thanks everyone for joining for another Google Workspace Admins event. So we try to hold one once a month or so. But we previously covered topics on using Google Apps Manager or GAM to manage your workspace environment. We've also covered using rclone to move some data or files into a workspace, and we've also looked at using or reducing AD dependency using Google Credential Provider for Windows. So today we'll be talking about using Zenphi for some no-code automation. So it's a tool that I guess Steve first came across and invited a few of us to join on I guess an impromptu meeting that he had with folks from Zenphi. So we have some people from Zenphi joining us from Australia. I guess they're joining from the future because they're already on 27th today. So without further ado, I guess I can just talk a little about the Workspace Admins team. So my name is Brian Kim, and I work for a Google partner called Strata Prime based out of Toronto. And we have all the team members here today. So we have Steve, Kim, and Dominic. So we'll just do a introductions, and then we can get started.
Yeah, let me continue. I'm the person why this group exists. I one day wrote a message in a GAM channel, I think, and it's like I want to help people a bit more in a more live environment as well as some recordings. However, those recordings we gotta get back to recording. They do take a lot of time and effort. So yeah, I'm the co-founder of 22D. A Workspace partner. I personally am based out of Bavaria, Germany, but we're a global partner, so we support the US, Europe, and even some African companies. So I'll give it to Steve.
Hey everyone, Steve Larson. I am currently a co-host for the Workspace Admins or Workspace Recap, podcast. A lot of different names here. And along with Jesse Nolan, and amongst other things, I'm also the CIO over at a company called Chaser, which is an up-and-coming, soon-to-be launched on-demand peer-to-peer delivery service, and work with the Google Workspace community in various different areas. I'm also the community manager for the C2C community, which is Google's independent cloud community, and of course work a lot with Dominic and Brian and Kim on a lot of the Slack communities and other groups that we're involved in. So I'll pass it over to Kim.
All right, I'm here down in the corner and over there. I manage the stream currently, so that's why I'm in here double. I'm a Swedish ICT technician and moderator of the previously Google Plus, now Currents, Zenphi Admins community, and I also hang out with the rest of the guys in Slack and wherever we can find each other. I'm a Google certified innovator and teacher, and also a professional collaboration engineer. And I do Google admin stuff all day, every day. And then every now and then we do stuff like this. Also a GAM lover, like most of the admins in here.
Yeah, the most important person today is definitely Kim. And how did you get the new interface so fast? I wanted to.
Sorry. Yeah, so I'm streaming using the new interface. This is from my work account. I was maybe lucky. I've been applying to all betas that exist. And even though I think Dominic fixed alpha for us, We're still, thank you, Christian. I just don't think I got it through early bird meet and not through the alpha group.
Okay, so I think we have Vahid and Arvin joining us from Zenphi today. So we'll just get them to do a little introductions about themselves, about Zenphi, and then we can get started with today's agenda.
Sure, get going. Hello, everyone. My name is Vahid. I'm one of the co-founder and the CEO here at Zenphi. I'm a software engineer by trade. Been doing software for a long time, since year 2000. Been doing a lot of stuff in software industry, but last 10 years of my life has been devoted to business process automation or workflow automation. So been doing a lot of workflow automation in Microsoft ecosystem, and with the Zenphi, we've been trying to bring the same sort of goodness to Google Workspace ecosystem.
Hey everyone, I'm Arvin. I'm one of the co-founders and the CTO of Zenphi. So like Vahid, I also used to work in the no-code automation space, and that's how we both of us met. And we did, like Vahid mentioned, a lot of work for the Microsoft ecosystem around SharePoint and no-code workflows. And then when we came to Google, we saw an opportunity where there wasn't any good integrated solution available. So that's how Zenphi was born, and we are pretty excited with what we have to offer.
Right, that's good, you guys. So you were going to show what Zenphi is and what it looks like, and also give us a few demos on some ideas, and also to tell us that you're a fast-moving corporation. Last I checked, you can actually respond to requests and make new features quickly.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Well, maybe I'll tell you a little bit about Zenphi, then we maybe a minute or two, then we jump right into it and I'll start showing you about Zenphi. So, so Zenphi, what we say, is a no-code workflow or business automation platform, specifically designed, we say, built on Google for Google, integrated, and a specific design for Google Workspace. So, if you look around yourself, everything you do, everything every business does is a process, right? And a lot of these processes, believe it or not, are still manual. Like, to be precise, more than 70% of the processes are still manual. And the reason being is that because of the scarcities of the folks like yourselves around the world, compared to the demand out there, there's so many processes, so many companies out there that want to do automate more stuff, but they can because there's not enough resources. And then when we have resources, the resources are normally dedicated to more complex projects. So I think most of us on this call, are sort of working in IT. So you get assigned to a strategic process, like a strategic project to implement something, automate something at the strategic level. But at the same time, day-to-day basis, you get these ad hoc requests from your colleagues in HR, colleagues in finance, colleagues in other departments to, can you go and create this group for me? That user has something that's happened to that user. Can you change that? Or, can you help us automate some sort of document generation, part of it? So the distraction, the context switching, and all those things, take a toll of all of our productivities. Now, so where Zenphi fits in? Zenphi fits in, helping you and most of us, automate those operational processes, which are left manual because are actually need to be automated, but they're not getting enough love because of various reasons. So with a tool like Zenphi, you can easily attack those those problems and automate your processes really, really easily. So without further ado, maybe I jump in to start showing you what it is, and then as we go along, happy to take question and hope, and discuss features a bit more. So so we talk about business processes, and as we said, the business process can be anything like what's your onboarding process, what's your offboarding process, or something as simple as, what happens when someone wants to send an NDA from your company to another company? Do you every time need to email illegal and to create a document and send it to them? Or what happens when someone wants to get reimbursed for an expense or apply for leave? With Zenphi, you can easily automate all those processes without having to write any code, basically, and having to worry about the maintenance of the infrastructure and all those things. So if you just come into Zenphi, you land on this page. Everything in Zenphi revolves around the concept of a flow. A flow is a business process. Like most of the time it's a one-to-one mapping, but it could be mapped to multiple ones as well. Again, as I said, maybe we just jump right into it. And for this session, we're going to demo a simple employee onboarding process. So the idea is that HR submits a form, Google form like this. We come and fill it out. Once the Google form gets submitted, let me go to the flow. Actually, we can talk to it. Once the Google form gets submitted, as you can see, the first thing is that the first step, we're going to go and get the information about the hiring manager. And what you see here, these are the building blocks of your process. You can easily drag and drop them from the left-hand side, or we call them actions. There's different actions for different categories. Drag and drop them wherever you want to drop them and configure them. So the first building block for our process, onboarding process, is getting the hiring manager information. Then we're going to assign an approval task to the hiring manager. To get approval from the hiring manager, we're going to go and generate an offer letter using the template we've got here. This is the template we've got. We automatically generate the offer letter. The data will be dynamically populated from the information we captured to the Google form. And then once the offer letter is generated, we'll send it for e-signature. It's another building block we drag and drop to the hiring manager and the candidate. Once signed, once we receive the signed document back, we save a copy of it into a specific folder on Google Drive. Then from here onward, we go and generate a random password, add the user to our directory, assign a task to IT to order the requested device for them, and do a bit more, send a welcome email, add the user to a specific group, and schedule a few meetings with the user, with the new candidate, manager one-on-one, and finally we're going to post a message in the Slack group. So as you can see, there's quite a few things happening, but now let's go and see it in action. Maybe I'm going to start with submitting the form. Maybe Kim, if you're okay, we're going to onboard you to, this is the Avengers teams. So we're going to onboard you to Avengers, if that's okay. With you, Ninja, you look pretty young, so 2010. Personal email address, I'm gonna put you, I've got your email address came here. I'm gonna put your email address because you're gonna get the document to sign for digital signing. So I'm gonna go next. What's the title? Chief Guard. Security Department. Cost center 35, and as you know, those things, this information can be all dynamic. You can change it however you want to change it. Hiring manager want to be Wonder Woman at demo.zenphi.com. And Avengers are pretty generous these days. Hopefully that satisfies you, okay? Hopefully you're gonna accept the offer, $1 million. Maybe you can work off our London office, and let's see. Starting 1st of May, what would you like to have, Kim? MacBook 13, 16? 16. All right, we'll go 16. So I'm going to submit the form. So as soon as I submit the form, let's go back to the flow and let's see. That's when the magic starts happening. If you remember the first step, I can go back here and wait for not this one. That was the one. As we can see, this is where we see instances of the employee onboarding starts happening. Okay, now this one. So let's go back there. They submitted. So I'm gonna now that's a few things gonna happen once it gets scheduled. A few things gonna happen. I'm not sure if I submitted the right form, but I'm gonna try again just to make sure. Give me 1 second here. Maybe I offered you too much money. Didn't like it.
Yeah, it could be the characters. There was characters. But also you can see the times.
No, that's pretty. That's not it.
Yeah, so it's the green one is good. 8:39. 8:32 is earlier. So it's a different one.
Yeah, that's a different one. All right, let me try again. Making sure I've got this published. Simple employee onboarding. I've got it published. I've got to do this again one more time. Let me make sure I've got the right correct one open. Correct one open. As we can see, everything is here. This is the form. I'm gonna start it. Kim, son 01/01/2010. Paste your email. I copied it last time.
Assistant says, what do you want to ask Google?
Security, cost center, hiring manager, Wonder. Somewhat serious things I'm talking to see Wonder Woman. Demo.zenphi.com. How much we offer you? 1 million, 1 million, London. Start date gonna be 1st of May and 16. So let's see. Let's come back here. Go back to the recent runs. This is where we can see the flows getting scheduled. And somehow the flow doesn't want to get a schedule. Let me come back here. It's published. That's not the one. Or maybe I gotta go back here. Here is where I or reject. I'm just configuring the task one more time. Go back there. Go back to here. And not sure if I'm submitting. I'm just gonna make sure the thing is flowing in. Yeah, it is flowing in. So we're waiting for Google to pass on the data. Maybe I can give it a minute or two. It should be instant, but maybe Google is thinking about something. But what happens? The form gets triggered, as I was saying, and all these building blocks start happening, and you can see the offer letters and everything start appearing here. Now, again, while that's happening, let me walk you through the building blocks that we've got available here. So we've got quite a few actions which are using which you can interact with different services in Google. Like in Gmail, you can send email, receive, search for emails. And recently added request was added, adding delegate, removing delegate stuff. You know, if you go to the Google directory ones, we can, we've got whole heaps of actions here, like adding a user to the group. If you look at it down here, as part of our onboarding process, we're gonna be creating a user in the Active Directory. We're building the primary email dynamically using the password generated in this action, what we call action, this building block, generate a random password. Then we assign that password for the new user we're creating, populating all those information. And then for this specific one, instead of using a Zenphi task, we're using a Google task. It populates everything into the Google task list. And also we go and send an email. And this is also as part of onboarding, we want to add every user to a specific group, user group, Google group. In this one, ec@demo.zenphi.com. But we can put different logics here. You can say if the user is from HR department, add it to group A, or if the user is from this other department, add it to group B. So this is, again, as simple as dragging and dropping an if condition here and configuring the if condition. All the dynamic values, the values that we configure in the forms, they're available here, or the values even in the previous actions, they're all available to us here. We can configure them here and run our flow. Okay, now let's go back to the thing and let me go back and see.
Vahid,
See. Yes.
you notice that there's a warning on top of your screen telling you your quota is up?
Yes, apparently I don't have enough quota now, but that's that's fine, because this is an internal mark with an internal license, So somehow Google doesn't want to pass on the message to me for whatever reason. We gotta check that out, but. If we want to do another simple one, just to show you, like I can show you the other flow that we've got built here. A request to create a Google group, for example. That's pretty common for you guys. I'm pretty sure something you don't want to spend time on it. When people reach out to you to create if you're managing the directory and all those things, people reaching out to you to create groups for them. So actually, this is one of the most commonly used cases for our customers in the IT department, and they love it because they can put it somehow on autopilot. This one also starts with the Google Forms, and instead of people emailing you to go and manually create a form, create a group for them, they can send a request by submitting a form like this. Putting the information in there, and what it does is, as part of it, is going to assign a task to the IT, and then as an IT person, you can decide on the group name, change it, or reject it. Once you approve it, it goes and automatically creates a group, add the requested people to the group, and notify the person the group has been created. So if I'm going to submit this one, requesting to create a group. Now, I'm going to show you the groups that we've got at the moment. I'm going to show you. So we only have got one group in our tenancy. So if I go and create Kim's group at demo.zenphi.com, group name Kim's group. Kim, I'm using your name today. Hopefully this one it's going to work. Kim's group. I'm going to leave the description as free, and I'm going to add a few people, maybe Tor at demo.zenphi.com. I can comma separate and add multiple people. When I submit this one, let's go back here, go back there, to the recent runs. Oh, it picked up the employee onboarding as well. We'll come back to that one. So maybe Google was restarting their services, or I don't know. But if you see, and now this one is in progress, a task gets assigned to IT, and in this case, I've configured IT the Wonder Woman to be the IT person as well. This is the task. I can come here. I can easily see the information that they sent, Kim's group, Kim's demo. I can change it, you know, to Kim's super duper group. Anything I want to change, here I come and say approve. And then it's going to proceed to the next steps in the flow. If you go back here, you know, it's notified me, and now it's got the approval. It has created a group, it's configuring the owner of the group, and it's now added the person to the group. If I go back here, if I refresh, the group should show up here. It has to ask me to sign in. So give me a second, I copy paste the password from here. Apparently they did restart their servers because they're asking to sign in again. Okay, save. And here's a new group, and we added new people there. So as things as simple as that, you know, you can free up yourself from a lot of small things you do, put it on autopilot, and you just go and say approve, reject, and you can focus on the more important stuff. Now that Google has restarted its servers, let's go back to onboarding Kim. If you haven't forgotten about you, Kim, we're gonna onboard you to the process. So it's common. You remember the first step was to get the approval from the hiring manager, and we indicated Wonder Woman is a hiring manager. A task like this gets assigned to the hiring manager. We dynamically populated the information in the task body, and I'm gonna go and say approve. Once I approve it, it's going to proceed to the next level, which I believe was the digital signature. Let's go and see. This one we proceeded. Yep, it's sending for digital signature. I think I included myself as a hiring manager from here, and I sign it. And after that, Kim should get an email to sign it. So adding a digital signature is also as easy as dragging and dropping one of those building blocks. Come here and say, yeah, it's all good, signed it. And as you can see, all this information got dynamically populated. I'm happy with everything. Let's send it to Kim to sign. And you must be getting an email anytime now, Kim, to sign in. I'm going to delete this one. I'm going to delete this one, clear up the inbox.
I can show that
So
if
while
you want.
Yeah, that'd be good. That'd be good.
So while we wait, does anyone else have any questions on what we've seen so far?
So this is the offer letter that was sent automatically. I have dock screen up. I'm going to remove that so you can see what it looks like or regular people. So this is right, and there's a review documents link.
Yep.
And this is probably broken now because I block everything in the world that I don't like. So it stopped me because it's going through something called Mandrelab. But maybe can I remove that bit and just go dashboard manager?
Yep, you should be able to do that.
Yep. And I don't have an account here. So
no, you don't need an account. You just need the URL to sign the document.
To be the correct, yeah. So this probably broken because I have a pie hole that blocks everything. So. Okay.
So what I can show here, employee, and let's go and look at the employee onboarding. So I can come here and show you, this is the offer letter basically we generated, sent to you. And once you signed, if you could sign it, it will come back to us, goes to the sign folder, and actually goes and provision provision an account for you in our account. So what I can do, I can onboard another person
I'll try to see if I can push it through.
So we can see this. Again, as part of our process, you see we are up to the send for signature, waiting for the candidate to approve it. And
Yeah, I got it
I
now.
want to go.
I switched my DNS so I can show you.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Well, that's the benefit of being IT.
Yeah.
You just do it on the
And
fly.
also at home. So full control of the system here.
Nice.
Removing that one too. So I got the review document review.
Sure.
And I can review. Nice, and I can sign.
Yeah. Click there.
And I'll pick this one. This is nice. And I'm sorry you guys didn't see that because it's on.
Now,
sorry.
so can you please?
I had Vahid's sharing active. So, but it looks nice. This is the first step.
Yeah.
There's a
Can
finish.
you? Yes. Finish signing. Can you press finish signing? So
Yeah. Yes.
you're done. Yep. So.
So I'm fine here. And now I'll switch back to you, right?
Okay, that's good. Let's do that. I'm gonna go here to the directory and see. Wait for the signed document to come through. Now the signed document should show up here because I've configured it to save it here. Let's go like this one. Actually, it's done. So this is the signed document. You know, this is a document you and I signed. We got a copy here. Now, this is step. We can upload it to any system we want, put in a drive, upload it to Salesforce or whatever it is in any other system. And then we must have generated a user for you. Let me refresh this. Let's see. Kim. Yep, Kim showing up here. This is your user showing up here. And then the final step was, I guess we were going to push a message to Slack. Yeah, there's a new message in the Slack as well. Say, hey, great news. Kim, you're starting with us on this date. You know, launching what is coming will be coming soon as well. As part of it, if you remember, I also added a task for IT in a Google Tasks. Right now, again, this can be a Zenphi task. It can be anything else we wanted to, just to show it. You know, and since I'd configured Wonder Woman to be the IT, the task is showing up here, and I'm just gonna click it down. So, creating a flow like this, I mean, this is a very operational flow, and it enables you to free yourself from quite a few back and forth. You know, you may getting up and running is quite easy, to be honest with you, with a little bit of investment upfront. And like we're talking about, if you're familiar with the thing, less than an hour, you get up and running with something like this. But the benefit doesn't end there, because as we all know, these things keep changing. They're very dynamic. You know, someone may gonna come and want to do a background check as well, before generating the offer letter, or you may want to add another task here. So with solutions like Zenphi, it's just as easy as dragging and dropping one of those things here. And like, imagine if the IT task here is a non-blocking task. We assign something to IT in Google Tasks, and we trust IT. They're gonna do it on time. We're not gonna follow up. But imagine if we wanted to wait for IT to finish the task as well. We could assign a task, Zenphi task here, replace that with Zenphi task. And so that if everything happens in parallel, we could put it in a parallel thing. So everything happens in parallel. So we don't need that one, send that. So the task happening in parallel and being blocked by one another.
Right.
So
there's a question, or actually two. Ask if
Sure.
the task can be in Asana or Fresh Service, and a follow-up question: can you kick off one of these workflows from a service request on Fresh Service?
fresh service. We don't want to have out of the box. So the answer is yes. The answer to both questions is yes. You can use it using the HTTP action as well as the HTTP trigger to achieve both. So the answer is yes.
So we are actively expanding the catalog of connectors and third-party components you can integrate with. But for anything that you do not find today, there is always the HTTP action, like Vahid mentioned, that so that you can make a call out from a flow. And alternatively, if another system needs to invoke a flow, there is the HTTP trigger, which basically gives you a webhook. So you will configure that in the other system. And if a call comes through, then a Zenphi flow can start.
Yeah. Well, actually, I've got an example of that right in, on the screen. This is the Telnet is a SMS service. You know, we've configured this flow. It's pretty simple. You know, every time we've configured, actually, let me show you Telnet here. Every time Telnet receives SMS from a specific number, which is in our account, it kicks off that that flow, and then within that flow, then you can do all the magic that you want to do. You know, branch off, see who is sending, have it load the manager or load the information from the directory. So I've come here. You know, let me show you here. This flow starts from HTTP endpoint. You've got the invocation information here. I just copy that, put it in here as a webhook. So every time a message comes in, this one gets invoked, and then here again we can keep building up the logic. And the same is for outgoing one using HTTP action.
Yep. I've received the 2 emails for hiring. Welcome to Avengers, and offer letters are completed with certificate of.
Yeah.
Nice. Lots of information and signatures and references.
Yeah. So so the as I said, is there any further questions, or can?
Looks like Dominic has a follow-up question regarding the HTTP request. Is it a simple post request from the?
No, actually, you can. So if I go to communication, you can. If I drag and drop it there.
Yeah, I guess the question was the webhook. Yes, the webhook is a simple HTTP post, and it includes a token as well. So you can pass it as a query string, or if you can send it as a header, both will work.
Okay.
But the calling out is what you were saying, Vahid. So you can use an HTTP, and you can do a lot more there.
Yeah, with HTTP, you can it's just gateway to the whole world, basically, even to your internal application. You know, some of even the scripts you may want to write, for whatever reason, it happens. We cannot deny it doesn't happen. As much as we like to say, you know, it's going to be no code everything, but now there's still some complex logic, whether it's legacy or something, which is going to be there. It's easier to make HTTP call to get the result back. And using HTTP action, you can absolutely achieve that. You know, you've got various options here. We've got the concept of the vault, where you can securely store, it's double encrypted and all those things, securely store your credentials or API keys without sharing the value with anyone in your team, so they can use it in the outgoing calls as well. So yeah, it's very well set up for that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, one thing that I particularly liked when we first did the demo with us is the ability to parse the JSON response from the HTTP request. So there's definitely a lot of customizability in terms of being what you are able to do with Zenphi from my perspective, anyway.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Brian. So if you look at like this example, I've got it open. Actually, I've got parse JSON here. So what happens is that when the trigger is, let me actually open up this link. When this specific system, Telnet, invokes Zenphi, it passes a payload like this to Zenphi, and no one, I hope no one wants to play around with a JSON path, JSON query, and all those things. It gets really, really messy even if you're writing code. So what we do in Zenphi, the only thing you come here, you just copy this thing. We've got this action called parse JSON, which is awesome. I'm with you, Brian, on that. I love that action as well. What it does, it translates that payload into structured data. The way it does it is we just come here, we copy paste the sample, put it here, we say infer schema, and from this point onward, all those information are available to us as like a structured data. That's how you use it. That's how easy it gets. You can come and say, payload, who was it from? The phone number. You just get it from here. Basically, this phone number is equivalent. If I go back here, it should be somewhere right here. This is the one. So it makes it really, really easy to work with. So there's quite a few other things, in here. If there's no follow-up questions, are you okay if I move on and show a few more about Zenphi?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that's good. So as we were saying, there's quite a few tools packed in Zenphi, and which can help you a lot in a lot of things. Some of the things, at the demo, Brian, you guys saw. Example, let me see if I've got it here, was a code generation. Again, simple things in life, but makes your life a lot easier, which uses docs and sheets to generate codes. You generate a table in a Google Sheet, and you can do all the magic and all the formatting, everything you want to do in Google Sheet, and take the table, place it somewhere in Google Docs, and generate a code and send it to your client. On top of that, there's a lot of scenarios we've got. People are using invoice handling for incoming invoices, and for that we've got something like AI Builder. With AI Builder, you can give them a specific document type, whether it's PDF, image or something, you can extract information out of it. So you reduce the work, from the people, having to look at the document and fill out the form. The way it works, you just give it a sample document. I've got one here. Let's see what I've got. It's one of my old internet billing, but you just give it a sample document. In the document, you actually specify, I'm keen, when I receive one of these documents, I'm keen to extract this customer number. I'll call it customer number, amount, this bill. I'm keen to extract this information, and I'm gonna say publish this one. Now, what it does behind the scene, it goes and builds an AI model for this specific document, and now you can watch a folder, you can watch an inbox for documents of this type to come through. And when they come through, you can easily just go here to show you, extract information, access those information. Then again, as a type, a structured data. Come here, I select this model. For document, I can select anything. If I come here, if I just want to show you form processor, you see all those information we specified will be available to us, which is really, really handy. What else is there in terms of?
Some of the other cool features would be, Vahid, around the administrative stuff. And I know that you built a couple of new things there as well.
Sure. Like a lot of things, like the request for these two came from King, to build the stuff, and then, GAM is really awesome. All the scripting is really awesome, but you really want to reduce the workload. You want to reserve that time, that valuable time where you spend scripting or managing the script for a lot more complex and important stuff. If you can put something on autopilot, you got to put it on autopilot, make your work a lot more effective, more efficient, free up yourself from this thing. not necessarily go and do more things, maybe go and enjoy more time with family, you know, or go and learn something. And you know, just
Yeah, I did this
those
4 times today. So
yeah. And interestingly, you know, as the world is moving towards cloud, you think these things will be a lot more automated, but the problem is happening now. There's a lot of other SaaS applications coming into play, and moving data across them, again, it's creating a lot more manual work in between. We not consciously, a lot of us are consciously not aware of it, but it's creating those things. So if you ideally, you want to create a situation where those things go on autopilot and keep doing it. And we do that a lot in Zenphi, like a lot.
So this delegation process that you created, what's the in data? Where is it coming from?
You can specify. So that's the beauty of Zenphi, right? If you drag and drop it here, you can say add delegate. You can select the connection, so it's a running context, but the email address and all those things can be dynamic. This can come from a sheet, can come from Salesforce, can come from Forms, can come from Smart Sheets, can come from HubSpot, anywhere, can come from a PDF file. We just saw, you know, as a previous action, you extract those information, you get those information, you use them in the subsequent building blocks. You know, and that's with everything in Zenphi. You definitely have got the options to hard code stuff, but most of the time you dynamically are loading information from somewhere.
And that's really cool because that means you don't have to build the entire process. So if you have, this is what I want to do, and I have the information from here, and I just put it in here and it's done.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And that's how Zenphi is built. You can start small, and then if required, expand, you know, because you at the end of the day, as a person who is in that context, knows what's best for the situation. Maybe it makes sense to automate everything. Maybe it makes sense to automate these steps and leave those ones for whatever reason for now, and later come back and automate them as well.
And can we just go through the installation process for Zenphi as well? I know it's available on Google Workspace Marketplace. I just want to see how the user management is done. So do we only need to install it for the admins, or do we install it for all the users? And do you also have a separate user management panel in Zenphi as well?
Let's start with Google Workspace Marketplace. Let's start with that. So you can definitely install it from Google Workspace Marketplace. There you have the option to install as using domain install or individual install. You can go in there and I've already installed it. But once you install it, what happens is the same as coming here, pressing sign in with Google. If it's the first time you're signing in, it's basically a sign-up process. It takes 10 seconds to 15 seconds. I mean, this is going to sign me in. But if I did not have an account here, there's just one step there. We ask what would you want to name your workspace, and from there you go and create your personal workspace. This becomes your personal workspace. Now you can belong to multiple workspaces. If you do, they show up here. And as a company, you know, that's probably what's going to happen. You may end up having your own personal workspace and also belong to HR workspace, as well as I don't know, general workspaces. So you can switch them here. Everything in the concept of workspace, it resides within that workspace. You can get invited to a workspace. This is because this is my personal, it shows up here. I can come and invite people to workspace. But when it goes to when it's managed by IT, it's managed centrally at the central level, that who's going to go to which workspace has got access to which workspace.
Yeah, so a workspace is basically for us a data sovereignty boundary. So when we create a workspace, you can say which region that you want to establish that in. But when you go to our enterprise tiers, IT will get full governance across all your sub workspaces. So you might have your corporate Zenphi setup, and then you might have one for HR, one for sales, but then IT is able to govern them and also set restrictions as to, these are the types of connections you might be able to use. Here are the number of quotas that each workspace might have, and all of those things, and also reporting as well.
Okay, awesome. Thanks for the information.
So basically, one of the, like, as I said, we've been doing like this thing for a long time. We love the problem space there. One of the things we've always seen, and it's still out there, hopefully Zenphi is changing a bit, the workflow automation platforms or no automation platform is really, really hard to get it started. And mostly they're top end of the market, they're pretty expensive. You cannot even get a demo of them. And that's why a lot of people don't know what they are. Right. And on the other hand, you have got a point solutions, very simple point solutions. So one of the things we've always discussed internally is that we wanted to make it really easy for people to get started with Zenphi with a solution like this, experience it. And if you need to build your way up to make it more complex, be it an enterprise thing, sure, there's a pathway to that one. And that includes everything, all the way from the sign up, from the feature-wise, from the pricing point of view. Everything we've done is we have considered that I guess we believe, one of the reasons is people haven't been using it a lot in Google ecosystem is because they from at least the conversation we've had with our customers, we've seen, they didn't know something like this exists, and the barrier to entry to the service nows of the board, I don't know, Pegas of the board are really, really high. They're in excess of a few 100,000 K, licenses, and that's just for the license. Forget about the implementation. So, so everything we've done from the sign up, pricing, the feature wise, is catered towards get it started, play it on, familiarize yourself with the tool, and that's just be another tool setting your tool in your toolbox. So when the time comes, you need to use it. You know where what fits where for what scenario.
Awesome. Yeah, so we have about 7 minutes left before the top of the hour. So if anybody has any questions, I guess we can open up for a Q&A session, and then maybe take any questions from YouTube live channel as well. See if there's any questions there.
Yeah, I'll start off with just applauding the way that you implemented the idea I had with adding and removing delegates, and also showing how easy it was that there was only a middle function that needed to be added to actual action, and that this means that you can do anything you can do with admin directory API. You can actually do that. So you just have to figure out an idea, and then you can do it in Zenphi.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. We are the more we learn, the more suggestions. That's why we've got that. We really love if you guys can share your feedback, your suggestion, comments, like with it. I guess and Arvin, I believe you can second that. That we really keen to hear more about the pain point and how we can help there.
Yeah. So going back to your flow regarding the form parser, is that using Google's Document AI API, or are you using another API to parse the information from the form?
So there's a couple of things involved there. So we do some pre-processing on our end, but we heavily rely on the document AI capabilities. So one of the main things for us is, sure, you can always enable that in GCP and make a call, but we make it so simple and easy for you to consume so that you can bring meaningful AI into your day-to-day business processes.
Yeah, that's awesome, because we've tried using Document AI to I guess, to scan some documents that we had, and we definitely run into some challenges in terms of trying to get some valuable insight out of the data and trying to provide some structure to it. So it's good to know that you guys were able to find out how to do that using some of your own tooling.
Yeah, and the other thing, Brian, is that normally what happens is just this document AI is one part of the process. Normally, you want to do something with that data as well when you extract it, right? Then again, with Zenphi, you can get the output of it easily, plug it into the next building block, next action, and build up on top of it. So, and that's another thing. With Zenphi, it's always good to zoom out a bit and look at your process, what's happening before, what's happening after, and maybe it makes sense to put them in one process, and because it's easy to do so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so going back to what you just mentioned about the being able to, I guess, take a step back and looking at the larger picture, is there a way to export those flow diagrams into like an image file or like a PDF? Those might be useful artifacts to have.
It's interesting. It's one of the heavily requested features internally. So it's currently we are working on that. So yes, there'll be a way to export the diagrams.
Okay, awesome. Otherwise,
I've got a means to do it.
Screenshots. Yeah.
No, I can say I've got a means to do it. They have enabled it for me, so hopefully it soon will be enabled for everyone as well.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, there was one question that was asked in the pre-event form that were sent out. I don't know if Nina's on the line, but the question was how to automate event reminders for Google Groups, but it's not really clear what the exact ask is. So let me see if Nina's on the line. If not, I guess I can reach out to her and see what the question was exactly. So I don't think she's on the line, but yeah, based on what we've seen, either using a calendar API or maybe even using a groups API, we can probably send out a event reminders fairly easily because we've been doing some of that using GAM. So calendar API is fairly flexible in terms of sending out emails or sending out reminders to people. So we can reach out to her and see what she was asking exactly.
So I guess the last thing maybe I was going to mention it was about pricing. As I was telling you, it's quite easy to get started. There's a free tier. Just takes 10, 15 seconds to sign up, literally. Jump on it, sign up. If you got questions, there's always in-product questions you can ask. They show you can reach out to ask if you've got any question. You get a start, somebody can quickly ask a question. Someone will be with you and answering that question. And then you can grow based on your processes. So the way we price it is based on the number of times your process actually executes. So that means, if you're onboarding 10 people, 10 it executes 10 times. So, and then you can start as low as if you require to switch from a free to the paid tier, you can start as low as $25 a month and build your way up there. Hopefully you can save everyone a lot more time, make everyone a lot more efficient, remove all those boring jobs and help everyone a lot.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I think we are now at the end of the hour, so last call for questions, and if not, I guess we can call it another successful event. And then if anybody has any questions regarding Zenphi, you can reach out to us, and we can put you in touch with someone from Zenphi's team and go from there. So I guess thanks Vahid and Arvind for joining us from the future. I know it's late at night or early in the morning, depending on how you look at it. And I know it's fairly early in the morning for people on the West Coast as well. So thanks for joining us first thing in the morning. You probably need another cup of coffee before you start off with your day.
Thank you guys. Thank you for having us on the show. And have a great rest of the day.
Yeah, thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Will the
stream
this be available?
Yes, it will be available on the YouTube channel, which can be accessed by going to workspaceadmins.org.
Gotcha. Thank you.
No problem.
I'm ending stream.
Yeah, stop the recording as well.